After 5 episodes, the PS4 and Xbox One are tied, so it's time to settle things by looking at the games. The Xbox One had a solid 2015 with some seriously awesome exclusive titles. Halo 5 Guardians was probably the biggest, and while Halo isn't as big as it once was, this is a solid installment. The campaign is a bit of a sore spot though. The story just doesn't do it, but it feels familiar, and Halo on the Xbox One has never looked better. There's also Forza Motorsport 6, which is one of the best racing games out there. It builds on Forza 5 with a massive library of cars and serious customization to really fine-tune your vehicles. Graphically, it's on point with a full 1080p resolution and a nearly flawless 60 frames output. Paired with the meticulously detailed cars, it's an impressive title. Another big Xbox One title is Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's a semi-exclusive with a PC version just being released and a PS4 edition coming at some point later this year. It has a very Uncharted feel, which isn't a bad thing at all. There's a lot of epic action sequences, and while it doesn't have the greatest mechanics, it's a fun game that looks impressive. The PlayStation 4 also had a few big titles last year. Until Dawn was a surprising hit. It's almost more of an interactive movie than a traditional game, but as a big fan of Telltale-style games, I'm not complaining. The story looks just like a normal horror movie, but the outcome is entirely up to you. All of the characters can live or die based on how you play. As a PS4 exclusive, it might not be a system seller, but it's definitely worth a look. Bloodborne, on the other hand, is very much an old-school hardcore game. It's not forgiving in the slightest. Once you die, you're going right back to the last checkpoint to make your way back to the enemy who killed you. It's got a serious sense of style too, with an old-school Victorian look and some giant monsters you're going to enjoy dying to over and over and over. There are also some big non-exclusive games like Fallout 4. While it feels a little dated, it's very much a sequel to the incredible Fallout 3. The world is massive, and the addition of voice acting is a nice upgrade. Destiny is another multi-platform game that holds up well across the board. While new content has been a little sparse lately, it's still a satisfying shooter with some serious replayability, especially if you have a few friends to play with. Star Wars Battlefront is another fun multiplayer-focused game. There's definitely some Battlefield DNA, which shouldn't be a surprise, but it's a lot more than a simple reskin. There is some exclusive PlayStation content, but the biggest difference is in resolution. The Xbox One tops out at 720p, where the PS4 has a more acceptable 900p. Just Cause 3 is a massive open-world sandbox that's a lot of fun, but shows a bit of weakness. The Xbox is utilizing a lower 900p resolution, but both consoles see slightly choppy frame rates when the action picks up. That doesn't stop it from being a fun game, but it's clear the PC is the best platform for this one. The grandfather of sandbox games though is definitely Grand Theft Auto 5, and thankfully here performance issues are nowhere to be seen. It runs well on both the Xbox and PS4. It's a massively improved experience compared to the last gen, and the game world is easy to sink hours and hours into. This is about as close to a must-have game as this generation has. You can't talk about console games without mentioning Call of Duty, and Black Ops 3 is the latest installment. At this point, COD is very much a formula. Each version builds on the last year's release, and this is no different. That might not be a bad thing though. It keeps some of the best shooting mechanics out there, and the multiplayer is still a huge selling point for picking up the game. While the Xbox has usually been the best Call of Duty platform, this time around the PS4 gets DLC before the Xbox. There are also a lot of solid, slightly older exclusives like Titanfall for the Xbox One. This might be my favorite shooter out there. As an early Xbox title, it shows its age a bit, but still feels fresh even in 2016. The Last of Us Remastered might just be an updated version of a PS3 game, but it's easily one of my favorites of all time. It runs much better on the PS4 than the last gen, so if you've never tried The Last of Us, you owe it to yourself to give it a try. Another Xbox exclusive that flew a little under the radar is Sunset Overdrive. This game absolutely doesn't care about anything besides fun, and it definitely doesn't hurt that it's one of the better looking Xbox games even after well over a year. The PS4 has also got quite a few cool indie titles such as Rocket League. This has been a massive success that's finally getting an Xbox release soon, but it's got such fresh and fun gameplay that it's hard to pass up. Resogun was a PS4 launch title that's a fun twin-stick shooter that's great for a quick blast that really doesn't look bad either. While it might not be on par graphics-wise, Nidhogg is awesome. It's a straightforward game that's super fast-paced and supports 2 players easily. This is a great example of an indie title that's on PC, PS4, and not on the One. While the Xbox had a solid 2015 for games, the PS4 is looking almost unstoppable right now. The additional power means that it can deliver some seriously nice looking games, and when it comes to third-party titles, not only does it usually run them at higher resolution or better frame rates, but there are more and more exclusive deals for the PlayStation. As close as this comparison has been, games really are the most important factor for any console, and the PS4 has the clear advantage, giving it not only the win for this episode, but making it the overall winner for this generation. This series has been a couple years in the making, so if you guys enjoyed, drop a like on the video and feel free to catch up on the first 5 episodes if you missed them. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.